Hi, Assalamualaikum and good morning. Today we would like to present to you a study using the absolute purchasing power parity theory and the BMAC index to compare the currency of between the Macau, Estonia, Croatia, Pakistan and Bahrain against the US dollar. The data that we use, including the Big Mac prices, exchange rates, wages, and GDP per capita, were collected on 3 March 2026 using the USD as the base currency. So in the findings, it shows that all selected currency are undervalued relative to purchasing power parity, which Bahrain has the highest undervaluation at 24.25%, followed by the Pakistan at 21.59%. Macau is undervalued by 11.32%, while Estonia and Croatia show about 13.35% undervaluation. Overall, we can see that the results support the purchasing power parity theory, but also show that factors like labor costs, taxes, and economic conditions affect the currency value. So, the Big Mac index should be seen as a general indicator, not a precise predictor of exchange rates. Next, let's get to the introduction and theoretical framework. So, purchasing power parity is an economic theory that suggests exchange rate should adjust so that the same basket of goods cost is the same across country where converted into a common currency. It is based on the law of one price, which assumes identical goods should sell at the same price in different country under perfect market conditions. A popular application of purchasing power parity is the Big Mac Index, introduced by the economists. It compares Big Mac prices across countries to estimate whether the currency are overvalued or undervalued against the US dollar, which is the base currency. But however, in reality, purchasing power is not perfect due to some indifferences in labor costs, taxes, productivity, and other economic factors, as well as the Balasa-Samuelson effect. The purchasing power parity and the Big Mac index are very useful for understanding currency trends, but they should be seen as a general indicators, not the exact measures of exchange rates.
Hi, my name is Nurin Arina binti Hassan and my matrix number is 307622. So now I will explain about macroeconomic driver analysis. Based on PPP analysis, both Macau and Estonia show their currency are undervalued against the US dollar. In Macau, the mechanism Taka is undervalued by about 28.1%. A Big Mac cost for Macau is 39 compared to USD 6.72, mainly due to lower labor costs, no VAT or GST, and tourism-driven economy. In Estonia, the euro is undervalued by around 18.8%. A Big Mac costs euro 4.7, influenced by lower wages and production costs, although it still has a 24% VAT. Overall, both countries shows PPP undervaluation, meaning goods and services are cheaper than in the United States due to difference in cost, wages, and taxation. Based on PPP analysis, for Croatia, Pakistan, and Bahrain all show their currencies are undervalued against the US dollar. Croatia's euro is undervalued by 70.04%, with a Big Mac costing euro 4.8 due to lower labor costs and a tourism-based economy despite a 25% VAT. Pakistan's rupee is the most undervalued at 50.41%, with a Big Mac costing 931.04, mainly due to very low wages and production cost plus 50% GST. So Bahrain's dinar is undervalued by 28.99%, with a Big Mac costing BHD 1.8, influenced by lower labor costs, 10% VAT, and an oil and finance-based economy. Overall, all three are undervalued because of differences in wage, taxation, and economic structure.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Nia Sarah binti Nili, metric number 307372. So for our first discussion, let us explore why the Big Mac Index might not always provide an accurate picture of currency valuation, especially when we consider about the economic condition and also global developments in 2026. So to begin with, Big Mac prices are influenced by more than just exchange rate. This means that factors such as wages, tax, rent, and also production costs can also affect the final price. For example, based on our analysis, we can say that a Big Mac may cost more in a high-income economy such as Macau because wages and also operating costs are higher than in a country like Pakistan. So the next one is the market condition, in which the market conditions vary across country. In some places, McDonald's is viewed as an affordable fast food option, but for others, it is seen as a premium brand. This difference in perception can influence how McDonald's set its prices. Finally, we can also say that global event can also affect the Big Mac index, in which from the latest one, we can say that there has been disruption in the Strait of Hormuz, which has increased the shipping and also energy costs, which may also have raised food production and also transportation costs. As a result, higher Big Mac prices may also reflect supply chain pressure rather than changes in the exchange rate. So, to conclude everything, I can say that while the Big Mac index is a useful tool for comparing currency, its results should be interpreted with caution because many factors beyond exchange rate can also influence the final prices. So I believe that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Secondly, we're going to discuss why the Big Mac index might fail in certain regions due to trade barriers, local competition from non-global brands, or cultural differences in fast food consumption. So the core issue with Burgernomics is that in reality, trade barriers and regional dynamics distort pricing, causing market rates to drift from theoretical equilibrium. So for trade barriers and sourcing friction, for European nations like Estonia and Croatia, European Union agricultural protectionism and strict import quotas artificially inflate localized raw material costs. In contrast, developing nations like Pakistan suffers from severe domestic supply chain constraints and heavy custom duties on imported food processing inputs. So, high freight risk and import tariffs trap local prices, driving a massive 50.41% undervaluation against the US dollar. Next is the local competition and market positioning, where the first one is the flaw of perfect competition. In reality, there are intense competition from non-global brands, forces McDonald's to adjust prices strategically to survive locally. The second one is the hyper-competitive local landscapes, where in Macau, it is calculated at a 28.0980% undervaluation. Therefore, McDonald's must compete directly against a hyper-dense network of low-cost traditional Cantonese eateries and local street vendors. To remain an attractive option, the local franchise is forced to cap the Big Mac price at MOP 39. The third one is the market saturation and substitute density, where in Bahrain shows a currency undervaluation of 28.9880%. The market is heavily saturated with global Western chains and high-income targeted premiums, regional shawarma brands. The next one is the cultural perceptions and consumer utility, where the problem with identical utility is the massive flaw of the Big Mac index is ignoring how cultural perceptions completely alter consumer utility across borders. The premium status symbols in Pakistan, dining at Western fast food reflects middle to upper class social status. Insulated pricing stands at PKR 931.04, requiring a minimum wage worker to labor for 5 hours for one burger, which is approximately 0.1912 Big Macs per hour. However, the tourism premiums in Macau, the pricing strategy shifts to capture high-spending international tourists and gaming traffic rather than tracking local citizen wages. Given that the Big Mac serves as an everyday commodity in one society and a premium lifestyle choice or tourist luxury in another, the assumption of identical utility fails. The index inadvertently measures brand equity, consumer psychology, and local culture instead of pure exchange rate means alignments.
Hi, my name is Nur Alaina binti Muhammad Rizki. My matrix number is 307554. I'm going to explain about the investment advice and the conclusion. Is the currency actually worth what the banks say it is? To find out, economists use a Big Mac price, a simple tool that compares the price of McDonald's burger worldwide. Right now, currency in Pakistan, Macau, Bahrain, Estonia, and Croatia are all undervalued compared to the US dollar. Here is what that means for investor. Pakistan currency is the most undervalued, discounted by over 50%. While that sounds like a jackpot, but it is highly risky due to the inflation and the global shipping crisis. Instead of just buying the volatile currency, smart investors target a local Pakistani company to export goods to earn stable foreign income. For stability, look to the wealthy Macau and Bahrain. However, both of their currency are locked or patched to the US dollar. Since their currency value won't suddenly shoot up, the goal here is to keeping the business costs low. Think about high-end tourism real estate in Macau or stable government bonds in Bahrain. Estonia and Croatia both use the euro, which is currently undervalued against the dollar by nearly 20%. As the euro strengthens, American investors will win. Excellent opportunities included the Croatia booming beach tourism and also Estonia advanced tech startup scene. The Big Mac price is a great shortcut, but real-world prices are driven by the local wages, taxes, and culture. Successful investing means looking past the burger and analyzing the real economy risks.